lose doing the right thing than win doing the wrong thing. My politics have been consistent in character and integrity throughout the time I started. And you can go and check. Can I go back to the question you asked earlier about comments of Governor Wike yesterday? There's something he talked about. When he was talking, the one I think he mentioned was when he talked about issue of integrity. He said that even my going questions my integrity. I don't know how that came in, but I think when we talk about integrity, we should talk about the integrity in management of public resources. That is what we should be talking about in this country. And when such things are mentioned about me, I feel maybe there's something missing somehow. But let me correct the first impression. He said it's about dumping them. I didn't dump any. My party is like an association. You have freedom of association. You have freedom to go in, freedom to go out. It's a relationship thing. And when you go into a relationship thing, an association, you go in there for a reason. And if you feel that maybe the activities that you go on is at variance with your own person and your principles, the only thing you can do is to quietly and decently leave the place. And that's what I did. You could see my write-up to the chairman of the party. There was no tone there that shows any quarrel or anything. I thank them for the opportunity of being their member, opportunity of associating myself there, and said, going on, I found out that I can no longer continue because of some activities I believe that are at variance with my person and my principles.
What kind of things are that?
Well, it's that personal to me, quite frankly. There's nothing. It's just like I will tell people, the process through which you get into, arrive at any destination, especially when it comes to seeking a public office, is as fundamental as what you do thereafter. So for me, I want to be able to follow a process that I believe in. Some people will tell you, do anything, when you get there, you can correct it. No, I don't believe in that. The process must be same as what I do thereafter. As a politician, I have campaigned, I've gone around this country, I've done what I'm supposed to do, presented myself to the people, and if I find out there's other things I might not be able to be part of, I decently withdrew myself. I came into a system, and I was part of that system. I stayed there throughout the years I was in PDP. Nobody can question my loyalty to the party. I participated in everything, and when I'm going out, I didn't go out in a cross situation. I did it so decently because I have right to do so. I'm not desperate to be president. Not am I desperate to be anything. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work, especially for the youths of this country. It's not about, I keep saying, it's not about winning or losing. I would rather lose doing the right thing than win doing the wrong thing. My politics have been consistent in character and integrity throughout the time I started. And you can go and check. This is not the first time I left PDP, if you don't know. In 2002, when I started this politics, I was a member of PDP. Go and read what Olisametu wrote. I went to one meeting, and I wanted to contribute, and people said, no, you can't contribute. No, I quite left them. I went to APGA, because I said, if I'm in a system where freedom of contribution is not allowed, I went to APGA, campaigned, won the election, somebody else was declared. I didn't quarrel. I went to court. I became the first Nigerian to ever stay in court for 3 years until court declared me the winner. I didn't quarrel. Same thing is what you see in that consistency I'm saying. When I became governor, 6 months after, I was impeached. I didn't quarrel with those who impeached me. I went to court. Eventually, the court brought me back. I became the first Nigerian to come back from impeachment as a governor. Of course, less than 1 year after that, election was conducted when my tenure was just about 1 year. INEC conducted the election, declared somebody as winner, he became governor. I didn't quarrel. I went to court again. And all through to Supreme Court, I won. That is why you have staggered election in Nigeria today. It was because of me. I became the first person to set that example. My late mother taught me, always be glad for an experience. No matter what it costs you. Can I go back to the question you asked earlier about comments of Governor Wike yesterday? There's something he talked about. When he was talking, the one I think he mentioned was when he talked about issue of integrity. He said that even my going questions my integrity. I don't know how that was came in, but I think when we talk about integrity, we should talk about the integrity in management of public resources. That is what we should be talking about in this country. And when such things are mentioned about me, I feel maybe there's something missing somehow. So go and check my record as the governor. I was impeached for 3 reasons. 1, my office had a approved budget to be renovated for 298 million naira. I renovated everything with 43,200,000. My lodge, to repair and renovate the lodge where the governor lives, which is me, was 486 million naira. I did everything with 81 million naira. Number 3 item was that I was saving money without the authority of the house. From day 1, I said we must save money. And that went through. For 8 years I was governor. Go ask any contractor, whether any contractor was sat with me to talk about what is I'm entitled to, inflated any contract, any supplier, anybody. And when I left office, his record, I left $75 billion, $500 million after that time, because it's public money. I was managing public trust, and I did so. For me, that is, when you talk about integrity, it questions your management of public trust and resources. Go to Anambra State today. I have no land given to me by Anambra State government. My managing director of my housing authority, Mike Wafo, is still alive. He gave me land and 2 houses. And I told him, I'm not entitled to it. I'm the manager of this. So, for me, nobody have ever seen me in my political life sharing money anywhere. I'm not saying I'm a saint, but I did things which I believe that was right. If you have followed my mantra since I started this, I've always said, Shehu, the greatest tragedy of our country today is consumption and not production. It is sharing and not creating. I said I want to move the country from consumption to production. A country of 200 million people with a land size of 923,000 square kilometers cannot produce or feed itself. No export. So our total export is less than $30 billion.
How do you hope to change that narrative?
For 200 million people. Less than 30. That is including oil. Oil is about 80% of our foreign exchange earning. And so you can calculate how much that it is when you include that. So you're talking about, there's no way that can happen. There's no way that can sustain the country. It is not possible. Countries that are smaller in land size, in population, like I've always mentioned, like Vietnam, 100 million, 331,000 square kilometers of land, total export last year, $312 billion. 97% are manufactured goods. There's no production here. It must change.
What would you do differently to turn around this very challenge of our country?
So you see me go around the country talking about trade. If you go through, number one, which are there for everybody to see, is issue of human development index. So first is you talk about issue of health, you talk about issue of education, You talk at the issue of per capita. All these issues are issues you need to invest adequately in. And then especially the last one, you can only increase people's per capita by tackling the economy. And you can't talk about tackling the economy without talking about trade. It is trade that is the main, call it engine or wheel of economy. And countries after countries, growth are measured, wealth are measured by the trade of that nation. So that's the critical area where you need to invest. Sure, I'm a trader. I've created wealth. I started as a micro, small, medium business. So I know what you can do in order to create wealth. Today we have massive insecurity, massive, problems all over the place. If you invest in the economy of this country and put millions of people that you have thrown into poverty out of poverty, shall you reduce criminality? That has been done everywhere in the world. And we have talented young people, energetic, that we have not invested in. If you invest properly in them, give them access to capital, access to proper education and everything,